Hello, my name's Juliet, and I'm 31 years old. I just made one of the most difficult decisions of my life, but now I'm much happier because of it. Let me start by telling you about my ex-husband, Austin. We met through some mutual friends and hit it off right away. We started dating soon after we met and had a great relationship. We rarely fought and understood each other well. When we reached our 1-year anniversary, Austin decided it was time for me to meet his mother. Hello, it's a pleasure to meet you. So, how long have you and Austin been together? She asked. We've been together for about 3 years now, I replied. Austin, you were with Chelsea for 6 years and never asked her to marry you, his mom said. Mom, drop it, Austin interrupted. Who's Chelsea? I asked, confused. Chelsea was my girlfriend through high school and college. They were perfect for each other. Chelsea was the sweetest, most beautiful girl I'd ever seen. I was sure they would get married, his mom explained. Mom, you know we had our differences and split. Besides, can we focus on Juliet right now? Austin said. So, what do you do for a living? His mom asked me. I'm an accountant, so Austin will never struggle with finances or taxes, I said. That sounds boring. Chelsea is doing her PhD in language studies while traveling around the world, his mom responded. Wait, really? I said, surprised. Oh yeah, I never told you I was still in contact with her. Whether you marry her or not, she'll always be my daughter-in-law in my eyes, his mom said. But I'm going to be your daughter-in-law in reality, I pointed out. If Austin and Chelsea couldn't last, I guess you're a good enough backup for him, she said. Backup? I'm not his backup, I said, feeling hurt. Things are getting too heated. Why don't we drop the topic and focus on something else? Austin suggested. All I'm saying is that Austin can do better than Juliet. Chelsea is still single, and I'm sure now that they've grown, they can get back together, his mom insisted. Are you seriously trying to set my fiancé up with another woman right in front of me? I asked, shocked. Mom, that's enough. Julia, be respectful and don't talk to my mom that way. Can we please just resume dinner? Austin said. I was genuinely shocked by what had happened. I heard horror stories about your partner's parents not liking you, but I never expected this. For Austin's mom to try to get him back with his ex while I was sitting right there was shocking. I could tell that what Rosa said had an effect on Austin. He started acting differently. I caught him looking at Chelsea's social media, deciding whether to follow her. When I confronted him, he apologized and said he was just curious. After that, he stopped thinking about her. A year passed, and I limited my interactions with Rosa. Whenever I saw her, she would compare me to Chelsea and give Austin updates about her. This affected him, and we fell into a cycle. He got upset. I confronted him, and he forgot about it. Despite this, Austin asked me to marry him, and I said yes because I loved him. The wedding went smoothly, and I thought a good wedding meant a good marriage, but I was wrong. Rosa's comments about me not being like Chelsea got worse, and Austin never stopped her. Nothing I did was good enough. I endured it all because I loved Austin. Then Rosa stopped mentioning Chelsea, and Austin didn't seem distant anymore. I was glad things were improving until I found some texts between Austin and Chelsea. Austin, we need to talk. Uh-oh, did I do something wrong? I don't know. You tell me. Look at these texts. Hold on, were you going through my phone? I didn't mean to, but when I went to charge your phone last night, a text from Chelsea popped up. Mind explaining why you're texting her? Are you accusing me of cheating? I'm not, but I'm asking why you're in contact with your ex. Mom gave her my number, and she started texting me. Why did you tell her you were single when she asked? This is going to sound stupid, but I just wanted to see how she would reply. You're right, it's stupid. It's so stupid to think telling your ex you're single wouldn't jeopardize our marriage. Come on, babe. It was just a harmless text. I didn't mean it. I just wanted to know her true intentions. And what were you going to do about what you found out? See her secretly behind my back? No, I would never do that. Where is all this jealousy coming from? You know how I feel about Chelsea. Your mom has made it worse by reminding me that I'll never be what Chelsea was to you. She's right. Chelsea fulfills a different role in my life, and you fulfill another. It doesn't mean I don't care about you. Are you going to meet Chelsea? Why would you ask that? She texted asking to meet up. I don't know. You don't know. Shouldn't the answer be clear? Yes, but I really do want to see how life has treated her. Actions speak louder than words. If you meet her, I'll know I was never valued. Julia, no, that's not what I meant. I was furious. Austin barely tried to assure me that I was the only one that mattered. He didn't defend me in front of his mother, and when we were alone, he still didn't tell me that I mattered to him. Why would he lie to Chelsea about being single and try to meet her behind my back? I didn't speak to Austin for a week. Every time I saw him, I felt immense rage and sadness. I didn't want to talk to him feeling that way. When we finally talked, Austin said he wouldn't meet Chelsea, but it felt like he resented me for forcing him not to go. I was tired of his lack of care, but I was glad he chose our marriage over his ex. Eventually, I went back to being my normal self. Austin and I worked on our relationship because we were at a breaking point and wanted us to last. At least I thought both of us did. When Thanksgiving came around, Rosa invited us and her other children and their families for a big Thanksgiving feast. When we arrived, Rosa greeted us at the door. "Hi, Austin." "Hi, Juliet. Happy Thanksgiving." "Hi, Mom. It sure smells nice here." "Hi, Rosa. Happy Thanksgiving. If you don't mind me asking, why is Chelsea, Austin's ex, here?" "You know that girl is part of the family. She had nowhere to go for Thanksgiving, so I invited her." "Oh, that's nice. I can't wait to catch up with her." "You're going to have a blast learning about her life. So much has happened since you broke up." "Rosa, you know I don't like Chelsea. She tried to ruin my relationship with Austin. Why would you invite her?" "First of all, this is my house and I can invite whoever I want. Secondly, stop being a big baby about it. She and Austin aren't getting back together anytime soon." "Babe, I love that you're a little jealous, but I'm sure Chelsea has changed. I mean, look at her. She looks like a whole new person. I just don't feel comfortable with this." "You know what? Since you're so uncomfortable, you can sit at the kids' table," Rosa said. "What? Why?" I asked, feeling confused and hurt. "I don't want your negative energy ruining things for us at our table. You can sit with the kids and be as fussy as you like." "Austin, are you going to say something to me?" I pleaded. "Sorry, babe. Mom owns the house, so she gets what she wants. You go sit with the kids. I have some catching up to do," Austin replied dismissively. "Oh, and Juliet, if you throw even a single tantrum right now, I will have you thrown out of the house and never invited over again." "Got it. Why are you doing this? You know these things hurt me, and you still do them." "Do you enjoy seeing me uncomfortable?" I asked, my voice breaking. "Is that a tear I see?" "Just go sit at your table," Rosa said coldly. I was humiliated. I couldn't believe I was being treated like a child. What had I done to deserve this kind of treatment? Austin didn't even care. He was too engrossed with Chelsea to notice how hurt I looked. Rosa smirked at me as she ushered Austin away to the adults' table. I felt tears pricking my eyes, but I refused to cry. I wasn't going to give Rosa the satisfaction of knowing she had an impact on me. So I picked up my pride and went to sit at the kids' table. Thankfully, the kids were lovely. Most of them were between 11 to 14, so I could actually hold conversations with them. However, every time I looked over at the adults' table, I saw Austin and Chelsea getting along a little too well. Chelsea constantly had her hand on Austin, and she laughed at everything he said. Austin looked like he was having the time of his life. I felt like my skin was crawling. How could Austin behave that way when he knew his wife was seated just a few feet away? Needing a break from the kids and the sight of Austin and Chelsea, I walked into the kitchen to get a tall glass of cold water. That's when Austin's dad, Wade, walked in. "So, why are you sitting with the kids? Did you volunteer to babysit for us tonight?" Wade asked, clearly puzzled. "Oh no, Rosa asked me to sit there." "What? Why?" "Apparently, it was wrong of me to be uncomfortable with Chelsea being here." "Why would it be wrong? Hell, even I'm uncomfortable with her being here. I know I wouldn't want any of Rosa's exes here on Thanksgiving." "Tell me about it. It just hurts to see Austin not even care about it. He's so caught up with catching up with her that he doesn't even notice how hurt I am." "Yeah, I completely agree. This isn't how I raise my son. Do you want to say something?" "I would, but Rosa threatened to kick me out, so I don't want to cause a scene." "What? Why would she kick you out?" "I guess I'm used to it." "Why in the world are you used to it?" "Rosa has never really liked me." "What? No, that's nonsense. She loves you." "I can assure you she does not. She's made it clear on several occasions that I will never compare to Chelsea. I watched their relationship, and let me tell you, you're a million times better than her." "Thanks, Wade. How come I've never heard all this before?" "You're almost always working, and Rosa threatens me to keep my mouth shut." "Yeah, that tracks. How come Austin hasn't said anything?" Austin can never seem to disrespect his mother. He tells me to just go with the flow to avoid any conflict. Why would you avoid conflict when you're the one that's constantly getting hurt? I wish I could tell you, Wade. You know what? I'm going to deal with this. I'm not going to let you suffer like this. No, I don't think you should. It'll only make things worse for me. I highly doubt that. Listen, I know I'm only your father-in-law, but I think you should reconsider things with Austin. You deserve a man who will always stand up for you, not someone who puts you down just to avoid conflict. I know, I just can't begin to imagine starting over again. Anything's better than you being treated like a doormat. You're right, I'll think about it. Good, now let me take care of things here. Deep down, I knew Wade was right. How long could I survive always being second to Austin? If he didn't make me feel that way, then Rosa certainly did. She never failed to tell me how I could never measure up to Chelsea. And whenever she did, Austin never stood up for me or reassured me that there was nothing to worry about. After my conversation with Wade, I got lost in my thoughts. I went back to the kids' table and sat there, thinking about what it would be like to start over. The process of divorce seemed scary, but getting one I felt like a failure. I couldn't even make my marriage last. I knew it wasn't my fault, but the feeling still lingered. I was pulled out of my thoughts when Wade declared he had an announcement to make. I didn't know what he was going to say, and I was not prepared for it. Wade stood up and began thanking everyone present. He then expressed his wish for the family to be more open and welcoming. He said he felt ashamed of how I was being treated by Rosa and Austin. Both Rosa and Austin turned red in the face. Wade went on to talk about how Rosa couldn't let go of Austin's previous relationship, making my life miserable. He also criticized Austin for not standing up to his mother and enabling her behavior. Wade told everyone he was embarrassed by Rosa's actions and announced he was going to divorce her. Everyone gasped. I was shocked that Wade would do something like that because of me. Rosa did not take it well. She began yelling at him, asking how he could say something so horrific on a day that was supposed to be happy. When she realized Wade was serious, she began to cry and beg him to take her back. Wade looked at her with disgust and said he didn't want to be with someone so cruel. He then revealed that Rosa had been secretly meeting her ex-boyfriend for the past year. He had suspected them but was always told they were just co-workers and old school friends. One day, Wade came home early and caught them in bed. He never confronted her, but he took pictures as proof and left the house. Rosa looked pale and her sobbing intensified. Wade told her she was projecting her actions onto Austin, which was not okay. Rosa kept begging, but Wade just put his drink down, took his coat, and left the house. The entire room was silent. Everyone was still reeling from the shock. The rest of the dinner did not go well. Rosa was too embarrassed to stay, and slowly everyone left. Austin told me he was going to stay the night with his mother because he didn't know if she would do something to herself. I was glad he was going to be away from me because I needed time to think. On the drive home, I thought about Wade and the courage he had to stand up for himself. I realized I needed to do the same. If Wade could end a decades-long relationship because he knew his worth, so could I. I knew I deserved better. That night, I slept better, knowing that I would soon have the peace I always wanted. Austin came home the next evening looking exhausted. He confided in me, but I wasn't ready to care about what he was saying. "Oh, I can't believe my parents are getting a divorce right now," he said. "Yeah, can you believe the things Dad revealed? My mom's a mess. Thankfully, Chelsea is there to look after her. I can't do this anymore. I want a divorce." "What? You want a divorce because I mentioned Chelsea looking after my mother?" "No. I want it because you have repeatedly let me be walked all over by your mother. When she praised your ex, you never once came to my defense, not to mention how you repeatedly hid and lied to me about your conversations with Chelsea. You know I can't go against my mother. That's the one thing that will never change. And as for my conversations with Chelsea, they were all harmless. Nothing explicit. Standing up for your wife when she's being ridiculed is not going against your mother, Austin. I don't care that those texts were clean. What matters is that you kept up the conversation with her even after I told you it made me uncomfortable. Well, I'll change. I promise. I'll be a better husband, I'll stand up for you, and I'll cut all contact with Chelsea. Just please don't leave me," Austin pleaded. "I'm afraid I don't want to make any reparations to us. I want out. I've dealt with this for too long. I have this deep-seated resentment towards you that I don't think will ever go away. How could you just throw away a 6-year relationship like this? Don't I mean anything to you? You did until you showed me that I meant nothing as long as Chelsea was there. If I truly meant something, you would have stood up for me yesterday instead of letting me sit at the kids' table. Do you know how humiliating that was? I'm sorry, okay? I got a little carried away with the idea of catching up with Chelsea. That wouldn't have happened if you just let me meet her before. Austin tried to explain. Are you seriously blaming your crappy actions and decisions on me? I told you that you were free to meet her. The only thing is that you'd have to face the consequences of your actions, and that would be a broken marriage. Whatever. I'll change. Just don't leave me. I've already started the filing process. I'll move out by the end of the month. Please don't bother me until then. Oh please, where will you even go? Your dad offered to let me stay with him. Wait, what? Since when were you and my dad so close? Since he was the only one to treat me right and tell me I deserve better than you. Now I'm leaving. Goodbye, Austin. Nothing felt as liberating as putting Austin in his place. It hurt to do it, but I knew it was the best thing for me. Seeing him look hurt and upset gave me a sense of vindication. I spent years tormented by his mother, his ex, and he never stood up for me. Finally, he got a taste of his own medicine. It hurt that he valued his ex over me, and in the end, he would probably go back to her. But I knew firsthand what kind of man Austin was, and all I could say to Chelsea was, all the best. He's your problem now. I moved out of our house that weekend and into Wade's. We spent a lot of time grieving the loss of our relationships. I felt bad that I was the reason his relationship ended, but he assured me that I only helped him see the truth about his wife. We slowly started to get better, but it took many long conversations, ice cream, and crappy movies. My life has slowly begun to improve. There are still days when I wake up missing Austin like crazy, but then I remember how I felt when I was with him, and I no longer miss him. I've decided to move away from this town because everywhere I go reminds me of Austin and me. I managed to find a good job in another state, and I'll be leaving in a month. I'm moving on to bigger and better things now. I can't wait to start a new life and fully heal. Thanks for listening.